Right, welcome back everyone. I remain Evil Tim, and this remains Castlevania 64. We've just finished off buying stuff such as cures, so now we're off into the maze garden where we won't need them. These are good stone dogs. They're not going to chase us or anything like that. They certainly won't come to life. They're going to stay right there forever. The maze garden key has been used to open the doorway to the maze garden, a very foggy place. Oh dear. Yes, we've got all these doorways in the maze garden, most of which don't lead anywhere. And this is a very good example of a place in this game where you really have to know exactly where you're going in order to succeed, otherwise you'll be murdernated, which is bad, strangely enough. We can look through walls, go us! Way! What a shoddily constructed bridge, we can even look straight through it. And it's time to introduce the fourth NPC for this level, a bush. Who's there? It's a question mark, Carrie. We need to talk. Why do you hate us? No, it's Malice. Other names considered for Malice were Mr. Evil, Tommy Bad, and Tom Marvolio Riddle. I'm sorry. Please help me. What's a little child doing here? I don't know. What's a 12-year-old doing here? I'm Carrie. What are you doing down there? You're safe now. My name is Malice. Malice? That's an evil name. Why are you here alone in this terrible cutscene? They burned the village, my home. They burned down my family and raped my house. That's awful. So is your 1,000-yard stare. They took all of the children to the castle. The devil in the black cloak was looking for a certain child. And then, look at him. If you kicked him up the arse, he'd fly to the moon. Too much starch in your cloak, Malice. My head hurts. I can't remember. Are you alright? You're tired. How did you work that out? That's enough. Shut up. Yeah. Okay, we're going to be attacked with these disobedient stone dogs who in fact did not stay where we ordered them to. Oh no. Malice gets his one line to be a colossal pussy. I mean, why are you scared of these stone dogs? It's dangerous to run away alone. It's not dangerous here. We just whack those two and once they collapse. Way! Right, now the stone dogs, they are invulnerable. We can knock them down, but we can't kill them. And the way to shake loose from them, if they grab hold of you, is very counterintuitive. We are used to in video games, of course, being as this was the very start of the era of 3D gaming. We are used to the idea that in order to break loose from anything, you either hammer a button or wiggle the stick. Instead, with these guys, you have to turn around and whack-a-late them. This confused a lot of people back in the day because, you know, that was the olden days, back when we still had steam-powered boats and so on. However, we are about to meet the real threat of this stage. Or you thought the stone dogs were the real threat of this stage? Don't be ridiculous. We are going to meet Bruce Campbell's Frankenstein's monster. Yes, he has a chainsaw for an arm. He was going to be a playable character called Collar. He's 12 stories tall and made of radiation. No, he's not. Stop being silly. No, as a playable character called Collar, he would have also had a shotgun. Yes, he would indeed have been Bruce Campbell, the Frankenstein's monster, which would have been completely fucking awesome. Now, instead of that, we got Henry, who is a guy in a Crusader Knight suit of armour, armed with a magnum, which, while utterly ridiculous beyond the expected limits of mortal comprehension, isn't nearly as silly as it would have been playing as this guy. So, curse you, Kanami, curse you, run up here to distractinate him. Unfortunately, you can't distractinate him for any particularly long period of time, because what the game actually does is just spawn him ahead of you behind corners and such. It's very unpleasant. Get off me, you dog. You're a bad dog. You also are a bad dog. That's not a dog at all. Piss off, you Frankenstein, you. And once again, just to up our plot hole quotient, they now go off their union-sponsored cigarette break, meaning that all we have to do is walk across here and stand in front of Malice and they will not be around anymore. He farts the door open using the power of baked beans. Carrie looks the wrong way, a recurring theme in this level. And we run over to this gate, which Carrie will now open and then be unduly fascinated by the hinge. I'm over here. Oh, right, yeah, you. You've come this far. Once you're through the forest, you're safe. Carrie now gets her callous bitch moment. Watch out for the demons in the forest. Oh, yes, those wacky demons. Don't let them strip the flesh off your bones or anything, you poor innocent child. Okay, now we get a pointlessly blank sign here. You know, worn away by wind and rain, the inscription is unreadable. What is the point of making that unreadable when we already know it goes to the forest? Who knows? Oh, and here's that distance fog again. You have to feel sorry for poor old Turok. I mean, you know, he literally can't see his hand in front of his face in his games. And, you know, he pulls back his knob and finds that someone's painted it purple. Poor guy. terrible fate. Now, there is nothing to our right, which is why we're not going to go there. However, to our left, just in case you thought there weren't enough keys in this stage, there's another key! Here we go! It's the copper key! Probably opens a police station somewhere or something. I'm so fucking droll. Right, now we're going to open up this gate, which doesn't require a key of any description, and now we get to backtrack through the entire fucking mansion. Yes, we do. And no, it doesn't spawn any new enemies or anything of that ilk, as such. We will instead just have to back through an empty mansion with a couple of bad guys in it. There's more chicken here. And poor chickens in Transylvania, they must be so screwed. I mean, you're walking along, being a chicken, having your, chicken life, utterly normal. Then suddenly Dracula comes along, rips off your legs, cooks them and hides them in random objects. It's awful. It truly is. That is why we would do this for the chickens, and now we're going to get stuck in a wall. Ah! Oh, help! Nope, we're free. Hurrah! Ah, that terrible obstacle was surmounted by our gratitude. And all we got to do now is dash back to the maze garden and then find the door which leads to the exit. Now, this is a task which has killed many a lesser man. Luckily, I know exactly where I'm going, which is the only way to get by, really. This is why, despite not playing this game for 6 years, I knew my way through the maze garden and didn't get lost even on my first attempt, my practice run. The one you just saw was my second run at it, where I actually got more lost than the first time. Carrie now proves her education. Some previous residents. No carry their pictures. Poor girl. She's just goddamn stupid. Alright, we're going to pick ourselves up an axe, because, axes are good. And we're going to kill this glass knight again. He respawns any time you go through a door around here, and he's never good. The supporting cast in this game were hired for a pittance. Of course they're not good at anything. So we go through the ghosty room, we ignore the ghosties, we're going to make our way back past Vannon's contract down here. And we are going to go back into the maze garden for an adventure 5. Open up the door into the darkness, which becomes the light. I should have been able to fill your dark garden with light. Okay, now the way we're actually trying to go here is through one of the many doors that look exactly the same. There is no clue as to what the copper key actually does here, which means that it's very confusing and silly, and seems to have been designed purely to sell game guides. Yeah, if you know how to avoid him, he has hardly any capacity to actually hit you, unfortunately, with a chainsaw. Silly bugger. Right, it's this door we want to go through. The copper door key has been used to open the wooden door. Thanks again, well-named keys, and we find ourselves in this strange little stream thing. Well, whatever works, I guess. And silly people will now jump onto the bridge and make their way to the end of the level because they're silly. However, I am not a silly person. Yes, I am. And so I know to smash that and get ourselves some roast beef. Ooh, tasty roast beef. Covered in dripping, delicious for all. Another purifying, hurrah! We're going to start up a small store which sells these things once we have left this game. We'll save up to this point, and then we'll make our way to another one of these apparently copper doors.